Well, welcome to the fun and mentals of real estate. Our question of the day, Glenn.
Yes.
Is how can you help your son, daughter, or your grandchild purchase their first home?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Do they have to do it on their own?
No.
Or can you help?
No, there's tons of ways to help. And I'd say, where are we going to find the fun in this? What's more fun than helping your kids get a good start in life?
Oh, no doubt about it. Because we always have a lot of mentals when it comes to real estate. I'm just saying, right? But this is a really fun topic, all right? So I'm Angela Dillmon here at Keller Williams Realty Chesterfield, the Dillmon Group. And this is my wealth building partner,
Glen Calvin and Gill Mortgage, right here in Chesterfield as well.
All right, super good. So how can we help, Glenn? Tell us how.
There's a lot of, let's start with, you got a kid graduating from high school, they're heading into college. We got the Family Opportunity Loan, which allows you to buy a home for your child in college with little as 5% down. It's a great way to, your kid's not going to have to rent.
So wait a minute. So if my kid goes away to college, let's say they're in Missouri State and they're in Springfield, and you're like, hey, the renting an apartment, that's pretty costly. There's an alternative?
There sure is.
I could buy like a condo or something, and then I could help buy a condo for my kid.
You can buy it, and it's not considered as rental property. It goes under this family opportunity. Little as 5% down. They rent in there, maybe get a roommate or two. Your asset is appreciating. They've got their housing settled, and voila.
So you can keep the payment leveled out, right? That's the benefit of buying is that somebody can't mess around with the rent cost, right? And then you're building equity at the same time. So what you're saying is, I don't need 20% down like I'm an investor, and I don't have to pay high investor rates.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
I get a homeowner occupant rate, which is always lower.
Right. And that program also works if you have a special needs child that's an adult, and to help them get in a house, or when we're talking about kids, but an aging parent. So that you can all wrap that around that same family.
So if I have a disability, a child with a disability, and I want to help buy a house or a condo, right, or a townhome villa, doesn't matter.
No.
2-family?
No, 2-family. Yep.
Oh, even a 4-family?
I'm almost certain a 4-family. Yes.
That's a great program. I could do a multifamily even, and I could just do as little as 5% down. You can do more, right?
Of course.
And I get a homeowner occupied rate. I'm not considered an investor. Wow, that's awesome.
So that's one way.
Wow, so you can help a disabled child or an aging parent, the same program.
Yep, or buy a house in a college town for your child.
Wow.
I don't think it's Missouri State anymore. What is it now, Bobby?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
All right, super good. So it doesn't matter where. So what if they're in town? Of
course, any way that parents can help is helping with the down payment. That's the big hurdle. That's the hurdle. We talk about down payment assistance. Well, giving your kids a gift of 3% down, 3.5% for an FHA, 5% down, whatever, to help them get.
Oh, wait a minute. So I don't need 20%.
No, you don't need 20%.
Woo! No. All right.
And the parents can give the money to things. Now, it's going to come with some rules. We're going to have a form that says this is a gift, and they do not have to pay it back. It's going to be signed by all parties.
They can pay it back, but they don't have to pay it back.
And then we're going to know the parent's ability to give. And that differs with loan to loan. On the government stuff, they're going to see a bank statement from the parents.
Okay.
And on the conventional, we just got to have these.
It's okay.
Yes, it's
fine. See your bank statement.
Right. We see plenty of bank statements. That's no really big deal.
Right. Okay. That's sometimes the hurdle. Now, as a grandparent, you can do this.
A grandparent can do this.
A grandparent or our parent can do this. Mm-hmm. Right. So as far as gifting goes, can another near relative do it?
Yes.
When you're just gifting.
It says close relative, or an FHA even allows a friend, but a conventional, they want it to be a relative.
A friend can do it.
On FHAs, yeah.
Oh,
so that's one way.
Okay.
Let's just say the parent wants to help out, but they don't want to give the money; they want to loan the money to you.
Okay.
So now possible? It's possible. We have to qualify with that loan payment, so we have to set up a payment, and it has to be a secured loan. So typically when we're using the loan this is when the children, they've got a house that they're in, they're buying another one non-contingent, they've got plenty of equity. The parents are going to give them a bridge loan to bridge the difference. That's fine, but we have to file a note and a deed of trust against the existing property.
And basically the collateral is going to be their existing home.
Yes.
So what if they don't have an existing home and they just want to go buy their first home
So then a loan is not going to work. So then we're going to have
I can't do a second on the house.
No.
I got to loan it against a car or some other asset.
A car is not going to work.
Or you could just do a personal loan.
No, because it's not secured. That's a good question.
It's
then we're going to set the step up and say this is going to have to be a gift.
Okay.
So they'll have to step out that on faith on that one.
Okay. So what if I'm a parent who wants to loan all of the money to my kid when they're buying? Like, I want to be the bank. Can I do that?
Of course you can. Yeah. I mean, that's more you're buying a real estate. It's no different than buying anything else. Now, if you want to, to be prudent, you should probably get an attorney to draw up a deed of trust and a note.
And
so
the
that's
promissory
secured.
note.
Right.
And secured against a house.
Right. And we've done that before, again, with that bridge situation, when the parent will do that, then they sell the house, then they're going to pay it back and come to somebody like me for the difference. But
so if you're going to loan all the money to your child to buy, and you are going to be the bank, you can't just gift them the money. Okay, so there are a lot of gifting rules. I think it's 17, 18 grand per child right now. And if you're like, well, I'll do a loan, a deed of trust and a promissory note, but I'll just charge them 0 or 1%. Guess what? Can't do that either. You can, but the government's like, hey, if you don't do the rate that we set out, if we don't use, which I think is around 3.5% or 4%, it kind of rolls between there right now, that if you don't do the interest rate that we set every month, in the month that you're gifting that loan, you're going to have to pay taxes on what you should have made off of that loan. Believe it or not, the government does not want you giving a bunch of money to your kids without them getting a piece of it. Yeah. That's just the way they are, right? So the gifting, though, if you do want to gift, though, you can gift per spouse. So as a parent, I could gift my son, I think it's 18 grand. I could gift my daughter-in-law 18 grand. I could gift my grandchild 18 grand. And then my husband can do the same thing. He can give 18 to the son, 18 to the daughter-in-law, 18 to the...
So I would say...
right? So you can do a gift of a sizable amount per person, per spouse.
And this is changing. So I would say, we both say, contact an accountant first. Yeah. And talk to them to make sure that we're up with that. But definitely it can be done. Mm-hmm. So another thing that we see a lot of right now is what we call a gift of equity.
Oh, a gift of equity. Now, this is very unusual. How does this work?
I've been doing this for a long time, and it's really not that unusual. So let's say I'm a parent, and I'm moving. I'm going to be selling my house.
Okay.
I've got plenty of equity that my son, daughter, grandchild, whatever relative wants to buy that house from me.
All right.
So instead of discounting the price, I can say I'm going to sell it to you at this price, and I'm going to give you that equity in between.
So who determines this price? An appraiser? Like
so
the bank sends an appraiser? Do I have to figure out the price ahead of time?
Well, you kind of got to find out what you want. So typically we're going to send, it could be that it's a $100,000 home. We only want $80,000 out of it. We're going to give you the equity of $20,000.
So you're still going to sell it to the child for $100,000. Right. And the bank's going to say,
we're going to have to get an appraisal.
I only have to loan you $80,000. Right. So it's like you're putting 20% down without actually putting out a dime out of your bank account. It's a great program, right? And you're just gifting them the equity, the difference between what you're selling and what the property's really worth.
That equity can include all the closing costs, all the prepaids,
and
the down payment. Now we're going to get an appraisal to make sure that it appraises for that amount.
Sure.
And then instead of you giving them the money and them giving it back to you,
right?
We're just going to say we're going to do the gift of equity.
Gift of equity. Now, what if my parent passes and my son, so the grandson of the one who passed away, wants to buy the home? Now, I've inherited it, so now I guess it's mine,
right?
And so, can I do the same thing on an inherited house? It doesn't have to be one I lived in. Can it be any one I own, even a rental house that I had? Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh wow! Could even be a rental
inherited.
House.
We're seeing a lot of that right now, just because the houses are so scarce, and it's a great opportunity to help with that equity. So you've inherited that. Mm-hmm. Now we want to pass that down to my child. I don't really need the money. The example I did not too long ago was a sister and brother inherited a house from their parent. The mom wanted to give her half of the equity to the daughter. The uncle or her brother wanted his half in cash, so what we did, we just did a refinance. It was a $200,000 house. My borrower borrowed $100,000. We paid off the uncle, and she's in a house. I think this one actually appraised for $230,000. Great deal for her. So it's a great way for the parents to help their children. What's more fun than that?
Super great way help out.
So what if our kids aren't old enough to buy a house?
Yeah. So how can we get them in the position to become a homeowner? Because regardless, even if you're gifting or whatever, they still have to have the credit. They still have to have the income.
And
so how can I help somebody who's, say, just turned 16, 17 years old, start getting in the position to buy a home and have good credit?
So I almost say starting younger. I don't know,
really?
11 or 12. Because to me it starts with an allowance. Teaching them about money. Teaching them about delayed gratification. Teaching them about working. Teaching them about earning. About being smart with their money.
Right, not spending it all.
I use this quote with my kids all the time. Ben Franklin said it best. If you make $100 and you spend $101, you're miserable. If you make $100 and you spend $99 or less, you're happy.
Oh, there you go.
Simple things like that, and teaching your children about money. The other thing we see is helping your children, and this is going to be when they're older, 17, 18, starting to build a credit profile. And nothing to me is worse than credit card debt. It's just the interest rates are crazy high. It compounds. It's horrible. But not having a credit profile when you're older and want to buy a home is problematic too. I'll say this, not having any credit score is better than having poor credit. But you still want to start 17, 18, 19. I think in order to be able to buy a home, you have to be at least 18 years because you have to be
you have to be able to have ability to sign a contract, so you got to be at least 18.
Right.
Now, I know the best tip that you ever gave me when my kids were younger was adding them onto one of our credit cards as an authorized user.
It's a great tip.
Right? Yes. So that helps build their credrit. And I didn't even have to give them a credit card.
No, you have
just an authorized user.
You have to activate the card.
But
here's an important thing. That can't be all of it.
Okay.
So that'll really help. And that helps if we get into credit repair big time. Mm-hmm. But you still want to start building that credit. And I know Dave Ramsey, there's an old thing about Dave Ramsey had a credit card he issued, and it had a $0 limit. So, because Dave doesn't like credit. So, but it's important, maybe go get a secure card, put $200 in the bank.
Yeah, so a secure card just means whatever money that you've put in, like putting it in a bank account, that's all you can spend, and the card will not let you charge more than what you put into an account.
And then put some meals, really some fast food, and then pay it off.
And then pay
it off. A little bit, pay it off, a little bit, pay it off.
Well, what about like a department store card? Does that work?
Kohl's, Costco, any of that. That'll help.
Any of that stuff works.
Tires, anything you could buy in installment and build a credit. There's a great organization that I love, Justine Peterson. They'll make small installment loans that you pay, and they report to the Bureau. So important to build that. And teach your kids about budgeting. Set a good example.
Right.
Teach your kids about the importance of money, because you and I know the ones that have it together with their finances, have money and savings for emergency, are spending less than what they bring in and have a budget. It's just a better life. And it's the fun.
Right.
I don't want to say funner. It's a more fun lifestyle. So help your kids, man. What a great way to get them a good start and start building wealth through real estate.
Absolutely. So the sooner you buy, the more equity you build over your lifetime. So let's go back to the fact that the cost of living doubles every 20 years. So not just your bread and eggs just went up, but the house prices just went up, right? So if you experienced how fast the prices on everything can rise. And so the sooner you buy, the better, especially since we're in such a low inventory environment when it comes to homes. This is not a problem we're solving anytime soon. And these house prices are going to continue to rise. And even after the downturn of 2008, which was just like walking off a cliff, the house prices have rebounded. And still, the 20 years later, right, from when they bought anybody who bought 20 years ago has doubled their house. Their house has doubled in value.
So what a great way to help your kids.
The sooner they buy. The average age of first-time home buyer is like 35. I want to encourage you,
it should be
buy
25.
at 25, buy at 21, buy at 25.
Let's see, as soon as you're out there renting, you want to get out of renting.
You want to get out of renting. Yeah. Because your wealth is going to build much faster over your lifetime than anyone else.
We've talked about a lot here. If you want to get a hold of me, Glen Calvin at Gill Mortgage, 314-249-6861.
Well, thanks, Glenn, for all the tips today. That's been a lot of fun getting all these tips. Have fun with your kids.
Tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
314-277-7713. And again, remember about HomeBot. Sign up for it. And it will help you keep track of your house price, pay it off faster,
Find houses
what can
for
I
your
rent
kids.
it for? You can do private searches on it. It's awesome. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next week.
Thanks.
Would you like to know how much cash is in your home? Would you like to know what that cash could do for you? Would you like to figure out how to pay off your home faster? Would you like to set up a private search where no one will try to bug you or sell you anything when you're searching for another home? I got an app for that. The wealth building app for your home. HomeBot. It's free. Click here.